Okay, everyone, welcome. It is 7 o'clock here on Tuesday, September 9th. We're here for a planning and zoning public hearing and general meeting in room 206 at Town Hall. So we'll dive right into the public hearing. So the first item on the agenda tonight is the continuation of the public hearing regarding coastal site plan review number 60-B as in boy, flood damage prevention application number 48, B as in boy, landfilling and grading application number 591, also known as PL 2567, Logan and Ann Nicholson at 6 Cross Road. This is the proposal to construct a new porch addition to the east side of the residence, expand and reconfigure the existing driveway and walkways, construction of a new pool and spa, patio, pergola, outdoor kitchen area, and to perform related site development activities within regulated areas, including the installation of stormwater management and regrading of the property. The 1.6 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the north side of Cross Road, approximately 130 feet west of its intersection with Cove's End Road, and is shown on Assessor's Map number 65 as Lot A-E as in Edward in the R1 residential zone. This is a hearing that was opened on July 15th. Of about a month and a half ago.
That's right.
We're back.
Yep. The commission opened this hearing on July 15th and heard from the applicant that evening. The commission kept the hearing open that night to allow for a decision from the Environmental Protection Commission. And just to remind the commission, the application was referred out to Joe Canis of Ty and Bond. He submitted comments for the record dated July 1st, noting that he had no additional comments for the record. He had previously commented on the EPC application. The applicant received septic approval from the health department on May 19th, and the Environmental Protection Commission just voted on the application on September 3rd, yesterday. And that decision has been uploaded to the application as part of the record. The applicant's representative, Rob Frangione of Frangione Engineering, is here to summarize the application, wrap things up, and answer any additional questions that you may have on the application.
I'll just make a quick note for the record. Last time we did hear from Amy Zapatakis about one of the neighbors, and we have a public comment letter in the packet that those issues have been worked out privately and resolved. So that has been taken care of as well.
Yes, thank you.
And as a result, I no longer need to be recused and have done a quick site visit and will view the proceedings held a couple weeks ago before any decision.
Okay, great. Well, take it away. Give us the quick summary. See what we can do here.
For the record, Rob Frangione, Frangione Engineering. Fred pretty much summed it all up. Basically, we kept this open to get EPC approval, which we have. What came out of that basically was that we were, make sure, stare right at it. We're putting the fence on the property line. We've increased the plantings and both the size and the amount. And as far as with the neighbor, we've addressed the runoff coming from the access driveway. And that's what the discussions with the neighbor was about, and that's all resolved. Those are really the issues. So.
Yeah, substantively towards the bulk of the construction, no really material changes from the July hearing.
Correct. Yeah.
It was just, it was the EPC approval, which we have, and then kind of the issue with the drainage on the entrance of the driveway.
Correct.
Right?
And those have all been resolved, so that's it.
Okay, great, straightforward. I'll open it up to the commission, and then we'll go to the public. Yep, I'll go down the line. Amy, anything?
All good.
George?
No, sir.
All good.
Jamie? Would anybody in the general public like to comment on this application? Seeing none. Okay. At this point, I think we're pretty good to wrap it up. Yep. Amy wants to make a motion to close the hearing.
Yep.
Jamie makes second. All those in favor? Or nothing?
Thank you very much.
Hearing's closed.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, moving along. Coastal Site Plan Review number 389, Flood Damage Prevention Application number 456, PL 2585, Emmanuel and Jamie Hammond at 17 Searles Road. This is the proposal to construct a new driveway and parking court and to relocate the existing garage entrance from the east face of the building to the south and to perform related site development activities within a regulated area. The 0.55 plus or minus subject property is located on the east side of Searles Road at its intersection with Indian Trail and is shown on its assessor's map number 66 as lot 71 in the R1 residential zone. Jeremy, Fred, what do we got here?
This application was submitted in conformance with sections 810 and 820 of the Darien zoning regulations under our coastal site plan and flood damage prevention regulations. The application was referred out to Joe Canis of Ty and Bond. Mr. Canis submitted comments for the record dated June 10th in connection with the Environmental Protection Commission application for this project. The application was also referred out to the building department. The building official, Mike Vitti, commented on the application on May 21st, noting no issue with the application. As I mentioned, EPC heard this application as well, and it was decided last night, September 4th, that resolution and decision has been uploaded to the OpenGov application. The project site is in the AE flood zone. The applicant received septic approval for B100 replacement septic on July 25th. The improvements being made to the site and the house, including the garage, are not considered a substantial improvement, so the house does not need to be brought into compliance with Section 880 of the regulations. We also note that the improvements result in a reduction in impervious surface by roughly 300 square feet on the site, and thus there's no stormwater management plan for this application. Craig Flaherty is here to present the details of the application and answer any questions you have.
Great.
Thank you, Fred. For the record, my name is Craig Flaherty, Senior Engineer and Principal with Redness and Mead, a land use consulting company with offices in Stamford. And on this project, we've been providing land surveying and civil engineering services. One thing to correct, Fred, I think because it is not a substantial improvement in that the value of the improvements are less than 50% of the value of the structure, it need not comply with Section 820, which is the flood zone regulation. So this is, I think, pretty simple from your standpoint. This is the existing condition survey. The house footprint will not change. So the improvements are largely to the elevation, increase the curb appeal with some minor improvements at the second floor level. And we're also swapping the driveway from the west side of the house to the south side of the garage and hopefully improving curb appeal. Right now you have a two curb cut loop driveway, and in the future it's going to just be a single curb cut court driveway, and instead of the garages facing the road, the garages will be facing kind of internal to the house. And the improvements to the architecture, the top is existing and the bottom is proposed. So you see some different windows here on this side of the house. Similar, just one more elevation, existing, proposed, so a little more work at the second floor level, adding dormers, cupola, existing, proposed. So again, largely architectural, footprint stays the same, and by virtue of the modification to the driveway, changing it from the loop driveway to the single driveway, that's where we get the 300 square foot impervious coverage reduction. So stormwater gets better as well, landscaping increases.
It's not curved over there, is it?
No,
obstacles?
no, I
So
don't.
to close it up, you just rip up the driveway and put dirt to the edge?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, saw cut.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. I mean, you're basically swapping the entrance of a garage 90 degrees and,
Yes.
and dressing up the house a little bit. You're
Yep,
not-
we're here because it's in the floodplain, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, straightforward to me. I don't have any other questions than that one. You're not cutting a curb, so it's not like you got to go to token easement after a curb. You're taking one away, so I assume you don't need approval to remove one, but you never know. So I'll go
Yeah.
down the line, Amy.
Yeah, no, I think the improvements make a lot of sense. You know, that second curb was on so close to that
Oh, yeah,
Indian
it's
trail
awful.
cut through. It improves that maneuverability
The edge is
greatly
there.
for people that was kind of blind when you would come through. And then just as a personal aside, it's great I see a lot of houses, and I remember this house when it was sold, and they're doing exactly what I thought needed to get done to that house.
Okay,
So
all
it's
right.
always great to see that. It's like, yes, bravo. That's exactly what I thought needed that house.
Good refresh.
There you go. George?
Done.
Good.
Jamie? Nothing? Okay. As this is a public hearing, I'll open this up to the general public if anybody has any comment on this application. Seeing none. Okay. Do I have a motion to close the hearing? Jamie makes a motion. Amy's in the game with the second. All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Flaherty.
Thank
We'll
you. Good
maybe
night.
get a chance tonight. Maybe not. We'll see.
See you later.
Okay, moving along. Coastal site plan review, number 363, B as in boy. Flood damage prevention application, number 169, B as in boy. Landfilling and regrading application, number 55, B as in boy, also known as PL 25108. McKinsey and Catherine Falk at 32 Plymouth Road. This is a proposal to construct a pool, spa, terraced hardscape areas, retaining walls, and a detached studio structure at the rear of the existing residence, and to perform related site development activities within regulated areas, including installation of stormwater management and regrading of the property. The 1.01 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the west side of Plymouth Road, approximately 400 feet north of its intersection with Shipway Road, and is shown on Assessor's Map number 57 as lot 36 in the R1 zone. Guys, what do we got?
This application was submitted with conformance under sections 810, 820, and 850 of the Darien zoning regulations, under our coastal site plan, landfilling and regrading, and flood damage prevention regulations. The application was referred out to Joe Canis of Ty and Bond. He submitted comments for the record, actually in connection with the Environmental Protection Commission application, which just concluded on this application. On August 4th, he noted no further information was requested from him on the application. The application was also referred out to the building department. The building official, Mike Vitti, issued an email for the record dated July 8th, noting no issue with the application. It was also referred out to Connecticut Deep. However, we received no comment from that agency. EPC issued their approval last night on September 4th. The property is within the AE flood zone and within the coastal area management boundary. And tonight we have Bill Pollack of Keith Simpson Associates and Harry Rocheville, the applicant's engineer, to present the details of the application and answer any questions you may have.
Awesome. Take it away. What do we got?
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Commissioners. Bill Pollack, landscape architect with Keith Simpson Associates. We have the drawings here. This is the existing survey, just to orient everyone. Plymouth Road, down to the bottom here, pull into an existing driveway to the main residence there. A deck off of the back, basically lawn all along the back of the property here, and a wetland area to the north side of the property, within which is a drainage ditch that flows to the west. Is the proposed plan. different scale. This is the main house here. Here's the existing driveway. And what we're proposing is to take off the existing deck that's at the back of the property there and construct some masonry terraces, stepping down from the house to the backyard here, and a new pool. Off of the driveway, we're proposing a new detached structure, 22 feet square studio building. The bottom floor will be garage space and storage space, and the second floor is essentially flexible space with a bathroom. The wetland area, we are planting a buffer zone with some new trees and some new shrubs, which was received well by the EPC, we're glad to say. The drainage, which Harry can certainly go into more detail, is proposed to be contained in galleries under the new terrace there. These are low retaining walls. They're about 2.5 feet high. So as you step down from the house, and you get to the sort of the mid-level of the terrace, and then you step down about 2.5 feet to get to the pool. The pool is basically on grade, other than just grading it a bit to make it level around the pool area. But we're not really filling or adding any material to develop the site. And Harry, if you have anything to add, you're certainly welcome to.
Be happy to.
So just to be clear, this studio is not being applied for as an ADU,
That's correct.
Correct.
because you can see that converting to an ADU.
Right,
But-
which they would have to have a separate application for that. At this point, it's just a bathroom and what you're calling to be determined.
Right, it's basically flexible space. I think they want to use it as like exercise kind of room. And
Yep.
they were aware of the ADU option, and they don't see that use anytime soon.
It will be heated.
Yes.
Is there any issue for us that it's in the flood zone?
No, as long as it's above the base flood elevation. So what's interesting here is that first, that ground level is about elevation, I think 7 or 8,
Yeah,
somewhere
like
around there.
8.5.
The flood elevation in this zone is 14 and 15. So literally, that second floor space might even be a second floor that unless care is taken,
Yeah,
it still might be below.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what we're-
we are above all of the flood
Beautiful.
elevation with any living space is the code, and we're a good, I think, 3 feet, or 4 feet above
Good.
that.
And the generator and pool equipment.
Is that all elevated?
Yeah.
Yes, the pool equipment, the generator is existing and is elevated. The pool equipment will be elevated off of the side, on a deck off the side of the new studio building, again, about 2.5 feet above the design flood elevation. And everything within the flood area has been designed to withstand flooding, essentially, per code and per. EPC did do a pretty thorough evaluation of the flooding conditions. For
Right.
example, we have provided flood vents as required
That's
in that new studio
That was gonna be
building.
my next question. Did you
Yeah.
put the vents in for it, or is it just
Flood
gonna be
vents.
like, it's a studio, if it ships away, ships away?
No, we're required to put flood vents in, and we have them in, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so as far as flooding is concerned, we have met all of the EPC concerns.
Okay, and it looks like the total coverage is only increasing by about 1%, right?
Yeah, it's
Going
very
from
minor.
12.5 to 13.6-ish, that's.
Right, yeah.
It's not like we're doing, because you're not doing a whole lot, you're not really touching the house.
From coverage standpoint, it's pretty minor. The pool counts as coverage, the new building counts as coverage,
That's it.
and that's a little spa there. But the terrace is all, again, it's not elevated much, so it doesn't count towards coverage.
Okay.
And how do you address the cold tax of the drainage that's underneath the terracing with regards to future maintenance?
Sure, I can go through it real quick. Is that it?
It's on there.
Harry, can you just state your name for the record before you begin, please?
Yep, just a second. For the record, Harry Roachville, professional engineer with McCord Engineering Associates. The Coltex Systems is located right here under the patio. We do have inspection ports at each opening, so you can get in there and see how it's operating and clean them out
Okay.
whenever it needs to be done. But since it's so contained, all the drains will have sumps on it. you know, there's I think four yard drains around that patio area that will all convey runoff to the Coltex. They'll all be designed with 2-foot sumps as a requirement from EPC. So there'll be plenty of pre-treatment before any runoff gets into that Coltex system, and it's a pretty small area to begin with. So now we're taking the precautions with the pre-treatment, and then there's inspection ports if you ever need to get in there after it's installed.
Okay. Thank you.
It says here you're taking out an oil tank, an in-ground oil tank?
Yes, there was an oil tank.
There's a
I believe
propane,
right
there's a
there.
propane and an oil, right? That are both
I
coming out?
believe there was 2, yes.
Do we need to, does the health department, no, I don't care about the propane tank, the oil tank, does the health department?
Fire marshal handles those.
Fire marshal, so do we need anything from him, or is
No,
that just when they take it out, he'll
They'll
he'll
get a
inspect
permit
it?
to remove it, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because I know those can be tricky, people leave them in the ground, they show up on
Then
title
they'll have to do the
searches.
soil.
Yeah, all
ta-
around it.
Testing, and if it's contaminated, do the,
Then you get the remediation and all that
radiation
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we brought a
Paperwork.
similar application in front of your commission either a year or 2 ago, and that was a concern then as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure there
I
was a.
mean, it's a good thing you want it out.
Yeah.
You want
Right.
it out.
Where are you putting the new propane tank?
Over
Oh, I
here.
see it, yeah, over there. Is that gonna be, that's not gonna be buried though, right?
It'll be buried, and there's a
You
flood
just
compliant
strap it
detail
down.
associated
Yeah.
with
Right.
our site development plans that show it being straddled down in a concrete base.
Perfect. Okay,
Right. Those are my questions.
George,
I think I have none.
Jamie, anything?
Good.
Okay, you answered all my questions. Mine was just to make sure the health department, but I guess it's the fire department with the tank. So this is a public hearing, so I'll open this up to the public. Does anybody like to comment on this application? Okay, seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the hearing. George makes the motion, Jamie makes the second, George is on the board. I see 4-0, closed. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we have not seen that.
No,
Must have been a bunch of-
yeah, there's another one.
Is there
right?
another one
There was
similar?
another one for this one,
Oh, there was?
about 2 years ago.
And
For this
withdrawn?
house?
It was different, they were doing different things, it was a different owner as well.
Interesting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Huh. Anyway, moving along, landfilling and regrading application number 593, PL 2510. This is Merrick Shrosconi, I'm sorry, Radaloslaw Shrednicki at 13 Hollow Tree Bridge Road. I have a hard last name, I feel free, guys. Proposal to raise the existing residence and construct a new single-family dwelling and to perform related site development activities, including regrading of the property to accommodate the improvements and installation of stormwater management. The .26 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the west side of Hollow Tree Ridge Road, Ridge Road, approximately 30 feet north of its intersection with Wilson Ridge Road, and is shown on Assessor's Map number 47 as Lot 123 in the R13 residential zone. Gentlemen, what do we got?
Yeah, this application is going to be immediately continued to September 30th here in room 206 of Town Hall at 7 p.m. To give the applicant some additional time to respond to engineering comments submitted by Joe Canis on the application.
As there were many, I should
Yes.
note. Okay, great. At this point, we will move into the general meeting at 7:23 p.m. The first thing in front of us is from the Fire Commission, the amendment of the special permit application number 89C.
We're gonna take them out of order.
Oh, we're gonna do it out of order? Do we
Mr.
need,
Vitti, it's on me, I told Mr. Vitti, show up at 7:45.
he doesn't need to be here.
Well, I told him anyway, so we.
Okay, we can go out of order. We don't need to vote because it's the general meeting items, right? To change it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would say you're okay.
Okay, so we will move on to the next site since I see some familiar faces in the crowd. This is business site plan number 128, HDR Holdings LLC, Wonder Restaurant at 306 Boston Post Road. This is the request for a restaurant tenant substitution in the existing Dutch's restaurant space. Guys, what do we got?
Yeah, so you'll recall that Wonder Restaurant reviewed a previous application several months ago for a different site in town, and that application was withdrawn by the applicant. However, Wonder Restaurant has found a new site in town. The location of the current Duchess Restaurant on the eastern portion of town on the Norwalk border. Typically, under these circumstances where one restaurant is replacing another restaurant or one use is replacing another similar use, the way we handle that is by an administrative tenant swap, essentially, as long as that tenant can comply with the previous approvals that have been issued for the site. We go ahead and give them that swap. They, of course, would still need to apply for zoning and building permits for the fit out of the space, but Planning and Zoning Commission review and action typically isn't required for those swaps. We are bringing this before you this evening just to make you aware of this tenant swap and to vote on that swap if you're okay with them replacing that use, replacing Duchess Restaurant. We have Dan Chappell here tonight, who is the applicant's representative. We've asked him just to provide a very brief overview of the operation of the business on this site, if you'd like, and we'll leave it at that.
One question before we get to Dan. Do we have a copy of the original special permit for Duchess?
We do.
Can we include that in the record?
Yeah, that's in Dan's letter.
I got to imagine that is old.
Because there's the original 1976,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
May
Yeah.
76, and then I was, believe it or not, here for the 1995 addition of the drive-through and other improvements for Duchess at the time. But what's interesting, of course,
95?
95.
Yeah, they renovated the ones in Fairfield around 95 too, so you must have done the whole fleet of them.
I think they probably went through the whole
Yeah.
bunch of them. But basically, in the 1976 approval, there were very limited conditions. And of course, in the 1995, it was more of a focus on the drive-through, and the architecture changed.
Yep.
So certainly there's an original site plan which shows landscaping and various improvements. Dan's done yeoman's work in really reading through the original approvals, the original files, and making sure that Wonder can comply with what they're doing. What has been explained is right now when you go, I'm sure you've all been to Duchess, it's 80% seating area and about 20% kitchen. Wonder seeks to switch that basically. Most of it will be kitchen, and there will be a very small seating area for less than 10 people,
Yep.
because it's mostly, as you're
Takeout.
aware, takeout, a lot of work done through the app. So you'll see that parking area is not proposed to change. I think Wonder will probably acknowledge that's probably more than they need for the nature of their business. The drive-through will stay, but it won't be used as a drive-through as much.
So the only question I have for you guys is a technical question. That parking lot has a lot of curving in it to facilitate the drive-through lane. It's not just like striped
Right.
like we do it now. There's physical curbs all over the place. If they want to remove those curbs, which I imagine they're going to want to, because it's not normal. It's way what we would never do now. Does that require? Can they do that as of right, or does that require a special permit modification?
I would treat it more like a site plan amendment.
Yep.
Usually minor site plan amendments get done, I don't want to say routinely, but every now and then we'll go to a site and work with an applicant on, hey, what changes are you making? Why, are they
Right.
consistent with the P&Z?
I'm not even talking about them reconfiguring the parking lot and like changing where the striping for, just removing all of those curbs because it's a narrow lane and it's a hard view. It's tough.
Yeah. And, it's certainly Dan can answer any questions you have, but it's, the nature is, the property is right up against I-95, as you're aware.
Yeah.
It's in the service business zone, so it's in the correct zone for restaurants.
So even if they came back, even if they were to do a modified site plan review, we could still handle it in a general meeting the way that we've
Correct.
done it for Thorndale Circle for Parklands, which we just did. Okay.
Right, it could be something done without, because the nature of the use isn't changing.
Isn't changing, just
It's
kind of
really just
configuration of the
the
site plan.
plans.
Okay.
So if they were to come forward and it was an empty, if they were just to come forward and originally apply for use in that site, would they have to come before planning and zoning?
Originally, yes, for the for the
Yeah.
use, the restaurant use.
Yeah,
But it's been approved as a restaurant.
yeah.
And that, I'm sure, is what appealed to them.
Yeah.
But we know it works from a restaurant standpoint. You know, obviously, they'll renovate the interior, they're gonna change everything.
Yeah.
They'll obviously go to
There would be
ARB for
for
anything,
signage, right?
rebranding, interior,
Outside,
exterior,
yeah.
signage. But it's
Okay.
a very different site than
Yeah, I think it's
I'm curious to see if there's any addressing of traffic expectations, because that is a sensitive spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it is on and off for highway, and it might be even better for traffic, but that's the one thing in my mind of not seeing, and knowing how sensitive the neighbors there on Birch Road were to previous applications at that site.
Yeah. Dan, you want to give us the quick 411 on this? I'm assuming with the 1972 special permit, there was no traffic study then?
No.
I don't think there was.
Even
But
for-
Dan
I
can answer
doubt
that.
there was one in
Even for
1995.
the 95 drive-through, there probably wasn't one either, right?
It might have been, I think, a small one. It might have been some, do you remember, Dan? I don't.
Don't recall off the top of my head. My name's Dan Chappell, for the record, Carmody, Torrance, Sandak, and Hennessy, with offices located at 1055 Washington Boulevard. I'm here with a representative from Wonder, Erica Downey, and my colleague Madison Smith is in the back. I'm filling in for Jay tonight. He doesn't have the night off. He's at a different hearing. And so I'm normally seen but not heard at these hearings, so it's nice to be before you tonight. So I know you're all familiar with Wonder and the site from our previous application, which, as Jeremy and Fred mentioned, was withdrawn. But I'll give you a quick overview. So Wonder offers a variety of culinary choices from different types of cuisines, and they partner with world-renowned chefs such as Bobby Flay, Marcus Samuelson, and Jose Andres, along with world-class restaurants such as Di Fara Pizza from Brooklyn and Tejas Barbecue from Dallas. And it's a great option for local families who have lots of mouths to feed and a bunch of different tastes. They can get food from a variety of restaurants without having to drive across town to make a bunch of stops. So Wonder uses a state-of-the-art ordering system where people can order through its app or its online website, and they get real-time updates about when the food will be ready. And in addition to that, customers can come to the store and order through electronic kiosks with the help of an employee. But generally, most people order online through the app. And so we're here tonight because we've chosen a new site at 306 Boston Post Road. It's currently home to Duchess Restaurant. And as Jeremy mentioned, it received its original site plan approval in 1976. It received another approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission in 1995 to add a drive-through and make minor site modifications. And given that this site already operates as a drive-through restaurant, we see this as simply a tenant swap. We think the site is perfect for this type of use. It has ample parking. There's currently 59 spaces, which is more than enough to serve Wonder. And it has a lot of space for site circulation internally. It is bordered by other commercial uses and 95 to the south, so there aren't really sensitive neighbors. And it's located on a main commercial corridor with similar uses. So I wanted to talk about the drive-through because Wonder proposes to keep the drive-through but not use it in the same way as a traditional drive-through restaurant. So when you go to Duchess or any other drive-through, you see the menu board, you place your order, you may go up to a separate window to pay and then another window to pick up your order, or you may do it all at one window, all the while your order is being prepared and you have to sit there and wait for it. So what makes Wonder different is, as I mentioned, everyone will place their orders ahead of time and get updates about when it will be ready. So the drive-through will really just be used to pick up orders that have already been prepared. So there won't be the same queuing concerns as there would be for a traditional drive-through restaurant.
And do you envision the pickups to be just, hey, Joe and Sally Smith that live in Darien are picking up their order? Or is that also the fleet of drivers that you have that are delivering the orders?
Yeah.
Is it also coming through that?
It would be used by both couriers and
Couriers
customers.
and customers, okay.
Yeah.
Just not to interrupt you, I'm guessing that the prior application, I think we had 9 employees, and it was like all hoodless, so you didn't need vents or any. Now Dutchess has obviously hoods and ranges and vents and flat tops and a bunch of deep fryers and stuff. Is it the same model still, where the equipment is going to be kind of the hoodless, sort of like heat up, or is there going to be more cooking on site? Is it do you know how many people are going to be in it?
It's the exact same model. We don't require the same venting or ventilation
Right.
system, deep fryers, stuff like that, but there will be a maximum of 13 employees on site, which is the same as the prior proposal.
Okay.
This proposal, the space is actually slightly smaller than the space at 1897 Boston Post
really?
Road. So on the first floor, there's about 2,950 square feet of space, and 1,025 square feet will be used for front of house, 1,925 will be used for back of house, and then there will be, there's a basement that would be used for storage. But yeah, generally, the activities will take place on the first floor,
Yeah.
but there's no change in the number of employees that were
Or the
proposed
type
for
of
that.
equipment.
Or the type of equipment.
Okay, and here, whereas there you had 20 spots, now
Yeah.
you've got 50 some odd spots, so you've got parking, ample parking.
Yeah, and at
Including
the,
the courier parking and
Yeah.
queuing, which is also an issue.
and I think having the drive-through would actually reduce the demand for parking too, because then
So
people
like,
have
how's
to get out of their.
that's my concern with the curbing, right? So how's the drive-through, are you gonna be like in your car, in the parking lot, and then you're gonna get a notification on your phone that says your order's ready, drive to the drive-through, and then you're gonna drive to the drive-through and pick it up?
Erica can correct me if
Right?
I'm wrong, but
Because that drive-through has curbs from the beginning to the end, so once you get into the queue, right at the very beginning of the restaurant, you can't get out of that whole lane until you're all the way to a U-turn and you're back facing the post road.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the order system will direct people to pick up from the drive-through. They can pick it up either by going inside or by going through the drive-through, but they will know when the order is ready through the app when they place their order.
So they won't enter into the drive-through corridor until they've gotten their notification that
Right,
it's ready.
presumably. Hopefully, yeah.
And then at the drive-through, instead of going into Shake Shack and picking it up off the shelf, you're just going up to the drive-through and saying, hey, my order 42
Yeah.
is ready, and they say, okay, here it is. That sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Yeah, and so there's 12 seats proposed, which I believe is the same as what we proposed for the other site. No changes are proposed to the facade of the building other than the signage, but we know we'll have to, we'll go to ARB for that. But yeah, and we think in closing, it's a simple change in tenant. There's sufficient parking, site circulation, surrounded by other similar uses. And we think it's a really appropriate site, and we think it's better use than some of the other uses that could be proposed for the site as well.
And does Wonder, because you have the same number of employees, presumably, preparing the same number of meals, do they also anticipate, relatively speaking, the same number of couriers that we heard a couple months ago?
Yeah, I think we spoke to Jason Botcher, who was
Yep.
here at the last hearing, and he anticipates that the order volumes will be similar to.
So it's gonna serve the same
Yeah.
demographic, same people.
Yeah, and since we filed our last application, Wonders opened in Westport, or
Yeah.
they're planning to
Planning
open
in
in
Westport.
Westport, I think in 2 months. So, and then they're open in Fairfield and Stamford, so there are other sites nearby that will
Right.
serve other areas.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So is it safe to assume if you are anticipating similar order volume, your trip volume will be, I mean, there's no magical demographic change from down the post road to up the post road.
Yeah.
So you would assume that the trip volume would be similar. I have a question. We had traffic studies that were done when 7-Eleven proposed to go into that site, and there were existing condition traffic studies. I'm wondering if there's some form of comparison that we can say, hey, we have a traffic study, at least volume, that's going to be coming into this site, to extrapolate and get a little comfort around how that stands. I mean, I know it's not a full-blown traffic study, but to understand the trips that are going to be coming into this site.
That was supposed to have gas tanks though too, right?
That was a
I know,
change of use,
I know,
right?
that was a change of use,
Yeah,
but
so-
didn't it compare it to Duchess's operations as is?
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So we have a sense of what Duchess's operations were and what their trip volume generated in the current condition, and that what we anticipate similar new volumes to be. Is it, hey, it's a minor change, or is it, oh wow, that's a triple?
Yeah, I can't recall off the top of my head if the 7-Eleven application evaluated the
Current,
current site
existing
conditions
Had
with,
to-
I know it's not-
to do
under
delta
Duchess.
change, right? My only concern is that, I know the neighbors were very vocal. It was a totally different application. And we don't have any assurances that traffic's not going to dramatically change for them.
Relevant to that would be my thinking or quandary about where we came down on the left-hand turn. I think the impression was left-hand turn is currently permitted, even though there's a sign that seems to dissuade that. But that they would continue to be able to turn left and right. Is that,
I don't think there's a sign at Dutchess that has a no left turn on the exit. Because the curbing doesn't, it's not like Trader Joe's that forces you to go right.
Right, there used to be an
Yeah.
island there, and I remember talking to then Chief Don Anderson, who said that so many trucks were hitting it. Duchess approached us and said, do you mind if we get rid of it? And Don Anderson said, that would be fine by him. So you'll see that the entrance is now one lane in, one lane out. I think it might be kind of a lane and a half exit, maybe a lane. I don't remember no left turns. I didn't see anything in the file on that. Dan, did you see anything in the file?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't recall. There might have been a sign at one point, George.
It's a hard turn because that's right at the apex of the hill.
It's-
I think I recall that it was covered by shrubbery or something or other.
But I didn't see anything in the file, so it might have been something more recent
Yeah,
that happened on that.
I took a picture of it too, but
Now,
that wouldn't be evidence anyway. So.
I know one question I had for Dan is, will the hours be more or less than Dutchess?
It's gonna be less, right?
Yeah,
Not
so
open for breakfast.
we would like to keep similar hours to what Dutchess has now, which is 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Not because Wonder operates at those times, but in case they want to expand their offerings to include breakfast, we would like to have that option. So, yeah,
Which is what Dutchess got approved for.
yeah, Duchess was approved, I believe, for 6 to 11, but I know their hours now are 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
And that's similar to some nearby restaurants. So Chipotle is 10:45 a.m. to 11 p.m. Darien Diner is 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. bird code's 11 to 10.
So you're gonna stick to 11, is 11 PM okay for you?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely won't be operating past that.
I remember the prior applications leaned heavy on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that's obviously, on a Tuesday night, 11 PM is overkill, but on a Friday night, 11 PM, you're serving South Norwalk too, you might want to have later hours.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be open, we just want to be able to have the flexibility to.
Right.
To open.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I could see you guys pushing
yeah.
later than 11 on
Oh,
a
no.
Friday, Saturday, but that's fine. I mean, I hear your concern, Amy, with the traffic, but I think that since this is a similar use, we can make the assumption that the traffic patterns are going to be broadly similar. This is on the south side of the post road, is that right? South side, we'll call it the south side?
South.
So, kind of like where we heard about bird code with, the neighbors had backed right into bird code and the acoustics and the garbage removal. I think a
Yeah.
lot of those issues
Yeah.
are not
Yeah.
really what we're
Yeah.
talking about
No.
with this
No.
site, so those aren't really a concern at all. I don't think that, Dutchess doesn't have much traffic going into it and out of it, right? Just because it's kind of, is what it is. It's the post road. I think it'll just naturally blend in there. If Wegmans can move in, I don't see that Wonder's going to really impact traffic too much here. So, I don't think we need to hold it open or ask for a traffic study or anything like that. We could certainly, if it's observed, that traffic is dramatically increased, they can bring it up to the municipal traffic authority and we can talk about it.
Now, if I remember, the other question I had for Dan, which I just thought of,
Curb
at
cuts.
the prior hearing, you talked about the trucks deliver the food from New Jersey, so it's one truck. It's not a series of different trucks bringing different things.
One truck, okay.
Yeah.
And typically in the mornings, correct? Okay.
And you're definitely not looking for 2 curb cuts here
No.
to change it.
No, there, no changes.
That was a major contention of the 7-Eleven application, was it's just a one-way in and one-way out, which is very odd for a gas station. Okay.
And it's, I remember there's different designations for different Wonder stores based on the sales volume. Is this designated the same as your previous application?
Yes, yeah, it'd be
Okay.
the same sales projections. We confirm that with the client.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
That's it.
So,
Wanna wait for George?
George, you all right?
Yep.
You gonna make it?
I'll make it.
Please. You okay? You get some water?
Yeah.
That's the
Green
worst.
cold.
I hear you.
Okay.
All right, well, since this is just a general meeting, I mean, is there anybody from the public who'd like to speak to it? We don't have to, but I don't believe there is anybody. I'm happy to. No? Okay. Do we just want to take just a vote? Vote on, should we approve it? I think, from my point of view, I think based on what Wonder was proposing a couple months ago versus going in right here, I think this is a spot that's essentially perfectly designed for this type of restaurant. So I think this is, if it's going to go anywhere, this is the best possible spot I could possibly imagine. It's right near 95. It serves both South Norwalk and Darien, so they get more municipalities out of it. So I think it's a great idea, except for the fact that Dutchess will close, which my kids will be very unhappy about. So we'll have to grope with that at a later date. All right, so take a vote. Entertain a motion to vote.
Sure.
Do straw poll, everybody? Favor? Jamie? Amy?
No.
No?
It's not that I don't like it, I think, I know the neighborhood over there, and I think they would appreciate to have more information about the traffic. So, for that basis, I don't feel like I've got complete information to vote yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We can talk with the applicant, you guys can figure it out, and we can.
Yeah, that would be, what we'll do is write a letter saying it got approved by a vote of 3-1. And we'll
Go from there.
document kind of what the conversation was and
See what we can
what the
do.
representations were.
Okay, perfect. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. I see we have some new additions to the crowd, so we will jump back to the original portion of the meeting because staff did not anticipate the efficientness of good government, and we were running ahead of schedule. So we will move back to the first item in the general meeting here. This is the amendment of the special permit application number 89C as in Charlie, site plan PL 25-130, Darien Fire Commission at 126 through 130 Ledge Road. This is the request to construct a Darien Fire Commission storage building / classroom at the fire training site north of the transfer station. Don't call it a dump. The subject property is on the north side of Ledge Road and is shown on Assessor's Map as number 39, lots 20 and 21 in the SB and R 1/3 zones with the municipal use MU overlay. The subject property is 16.7 plus or minus acres in size. So I believe this is a request to put up a shed-like structure?
Yes, this is at the upper level of the transfer station. It's since 1988. There's been a fire training center up there. Many people in town are not aware of that. It basically now has 3 components. One is I call it a mock building, I think is what Mike called it.
Yeah.
A vehicle that's in distress, if you will, and you said oil tank.
There's a smokehouse that was put up about 8 years ago. There's an original burn building that was in there since 1988. We have car props, propane powered props, and now we have the flammable liquid pit. So what we're looking for now is to have more state certified run classes up there, which means we need a clean area and a dirty area. So we'll have a garage for the guys to put their turnout gear and everything, and then the clean area, the 40 by 40 classroom. So basically, the big push is cancer now, just keep the two separated.
Yep.
So
And
we'll have
just for the record, your name is?
oh, I'm sorry, Michael Vitti, V-I-T-T-I,
Thank you.
and treasurer of the Fire Commission.
Thank you.
You know, I always saw the structures from the train, and then I didn't realize what they were. And then one day it just like snapped on me. I was like, oh, that's the fire department's training area. And then then you start looking at the burned up cars and stuff, and it makes a lot more sense. My only question, I think this is fine. The site is huge. I think it's a no-brainer. The shed that they're proposing to build is 40 feet by 60 feet. It's, building. It's tiny. Is it gonna have heating?
It'll be a conditioned area. It has to be.
Okay.
To have the state classes up there.
Got it.
There has to be like a rehab area for when the guys,
come out
when
with
they're
oxygen and
finished,
stuff.
they clean, decon, and then they have a place to stay.
Okay, perfect.
Is
Great.
it a soft shell? It's gonna be a metal frame building.
Metal frame.
And then metal frame, metal panels, and then we'll finish the inside with sheetrock.
I see.
And then we'll leave the dirty side, put in one bathroom for quick decon. Guys are not gonna trample into the clean area, so we'll have a bathroom on both sides. If you looked at the plan, we have a good floor plan. It's not divided, it's divided all the way through, so you cannot go from the clean area to the dirty area from inside. You have to go around, so it deters you from cutting through, so to keep it that way.
Okay, great. Yes, very straightforward. You got tons of land up there to do it. So, Amy, anything?
I'm good.
George?
All good.
Jamie?
All good.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion vote to approve. George makes it. Jamie second. All's in favor? 4-0. Got yourself.
Thank you. Sorry I was late.
No,
I had a
don't worry about
previous
it.
meeting.
I told him not even to have you come. We didn't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Appreciate everything you do. Okay, moving on to the deliberations only. The landfilling or grading application number 592 PL 25-112, 529 Norotan LLC, 529 Norotan Avenue. Proposal to raise the existing residence and construct a new single-family dwelling with a new driveway and perform related site development activities, including regrading of the property and installation of stormwater management. This hearing was closed on September 2nd, 2025. If you recall, this was the application we saw literally last week and earlier in July of a very big house, basically maxing out the small parcel of land. The big concern is that it's level-ish to the road, but there is a significant drop off in the backyard that goes down 30 to 40 feet, almost to the point where Joe Canis wanted them to level it out just to be able to mow the lawn. It's a very big house. The neighbors, obviously, that have to look up at it, you're looking up at a house either way, so there's, but this one is particularly large with a double porch on the back, which I can't remember seeing in town at all. The only concern I had was that on the driveway, it looks like they're gonna curb it instead of Belgian block it. And can we make them Belgian block it? Because if they're gonna build the house that's 14 billion square feet, they should have Belgian blocks instead of curbs.
Well, what's the difference?
How it looks.
Wow.
I think perhaps we can suggest that they use a certain material as long as the...
They have to maintain the curbs for the flow of water down the driveway.
Right.
We just have to make sure that if it's in the right of way, DPW has to approve
Yeah.
whatever's there for
Whatever's
snow
there.
plowing purposes. And I know Joe Canis recommended a lip.
Yeah.
So the water coming down the Roten Avenue doesn't make a sharp right into their property and then down the hill to Edgerton Street. So-
Yeah, and there is going to be very limited runoff capture versus a meadow. So it's, when you're 30 feet below somebody else, you're gonna get water coming down no matter how you slice it. We could put a Coltech the size of Long Island and you'll still get rain in there. But it's a big, big house. So they did do some improvements with catching of the stormwater on the redesign, which is better. They made it a little bit bigger, but this is a very big house on a very small lot.
You did reassure us that it will not cause any greater flow
They
to
did.
the neighbor with the additional stormwater.
And the other thing we talked about is the volume of trucks that are going to be used for the cut and fill on this property, because there are a number of them. Obviously, Nerone Avenue is a busy street, and they are, I want to say 200 yards north, we'll say, of the fire department and the and the baseball fields right there. So less the baseball fields, but the fire department obviously, can't be blocked at any time from from dump trucks, queuing up on Nerone Avenue. So we need some way to kind of manage that in the resolution.
Yeah.
Or if, I don't think we need to have the signer out there or anything, but I think maybe have the engineer on site or, attest that they're gonna do something. That's kind of the big concern, I think, with the construction staging of it. But otherwise, it all fits. It's within, they're very, very tight on the building height and on the coverage. So, we're always reassured that at 29.11 and, 15/16 is what they'll build it to. And, I leave the staff up to that to enforce it. But this was another one where they're really pushing the boundaries of right to the very possible maximum. So, yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, any comments?
Question, well, I watched the Vimeo from the last hearing, and, Joe, one of the things that I always like to obviously see Joe comfortable and feel like all of his comments were addressed, which it seems like they are. And one of the things that was done was the kind of more level of the grading of across the back to make sure there was no inadvertent gullies or points that would pool and scour the land. When you go back for a CO, do they confirm grading? It's like, are they going back and they're just looking at the building and they're saying, yep, it check, it checks everything that the building needs? Is there a level of check-in to make sure that that grading happened the way it was supposed to happen?
Excellent question.
Because that seemed to be something that Joe's made him comfortable.
Right. So sometimes, depending on the situation, like this would be a good example, where we would come back and say, not only do you need an as-built showing
Yep.
setbacks, the building to the setbacks,
Yeah.
building coverage, building height, we need 1 or 2 foot topography.
I think
to
we need
compare.
that. I think
On the
we
as-built, yeah.
need that.
I would agree.
Perfect.
1 foot
Yeah.
topo on as-built
Yeah.
before CO. Yes.
And the other thing I would just like to comment is that there was a very, very, very small house on effectively a double lot. So anything is gonna seem dramatically
yeah.
bigger. I mean, it's provided that it's under the 20%, those are our regulations.
Yep, yep.
Just on the dump truck issue, I'm thinking that rather than having a second truck queuing up, have them go into McGuire Field and, wait until they're told that the other truck is left.
No, but then you're getting jack up baseball practice. We're not gonna have
Oh.
that.
But I think that, you could say that trucks should not queue on Norotan Avenue.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the only problem with that issue, George, is that the fire department uses the McGuane entrance off Norotan to access that back parking lot.
Off of Norotan
Off of Norotan,
Yeah.
right?
to
That's,
get to the back parking.
That-
Yeah,
that-
well, that's,
yeah, so if
isn't
you
that the
had-
main entrance to McGuire?
yeah, but if you have the trucks there potentially
well,
queuing,
I hope they'd know how to stay out of the way. basically.
that road is a beat up.
How,
road.
are we letting them go until 5 o'clock, or I would think the fields are not used until 3 o'clock,
Yeah,
3:30?
I don't think timing was an issue with this. Construction workers aren't usually late in the day.
You know what
cutting it.
George is saying,
They-
is
Oh, the trucks?
during the day, the trucks queue at McGuire,
Yeah.
because unless it's
No
a
gas.
Saturday or Sunday.
I don't think the fire department's gonna like them queuing right in their backyard, to be honest with you. I get it, but,
Well,
and McGuane is kind of designed to be a one-way flow
In and out, yeah.
into McGuane and then out on West, so if you start, then you have the truck kind of going in, doing a three-point turn, then coming up, but then blocking it, and it's a hill, and the road is all beat up, it's fire department.
Well, I think it's theirs to manage.
Yeah, they
You
can-
just-
they
the
figure that out.
restrictions are, you can't queue up and hang out
Yeah,
on
you
the road now.
can't queue on the road Avenue, we figured
Yeah.
out. Yeah, they are gonna have a lot of trucks. My personal view is have them get it over with quicker with the trucks. There's some discussion, would you guys want us to lengthen it out, and we only do 2 a day, or should we do it quicker? I'm more of a rip the Band-Aid off. I feel like neighbors are not gonna be happy with trucks for 1 day, 2 days. So if you make it a shorter window, it's better. Same thing with hammering, right? Would you rather hammer for 2 days over 2 months, or would you rather hammer 8 hours a day for a week? Most people are gonna pick the week. We talked about that too. So. Jamie, anything?
Nope, I
Yeah.
just went through Joe's letter to make sure we didn't
Yep.
miss anything. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, there was a lot in Joe's letter, but they did do a substantial amount of revisions from the July meeting that sort of addressed all of those comments. But yeah, that back, we talked about the 3-to-1, triangle for just being able to mow the grass. So it's certainly a concern.
Sorry, I had another previous engagement. This is for 13 Hollow Tree Ridge Road.
13 Hollow Tree
That was
Ridge Road.
continued.
That was part of the public hearing. It was immediately continued, so we did not hear the application for it at all.
Okay.
The continuation is next week.
Nope,
September 30th,
Okay.
in this room.
Oh, I'm going to be in St. Louis.
You can watch it on TV 79.
or you can send a letter.
Send a message, yeah.
Send a mess, and then if you have comment that you'd like to submit, I'm not sure if you're a neighbor, whatever.
I'm an
If,
extra neighbor.
if you email it to us, it's the exact same thing as speaking during a meeting.
Okay, great.
And we will read
I
it.
was concerned over the wetlands behind them.
Email it to staff, and we'll consider it as absolutely part of the application.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
we appreciate it. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, so it looks like we'll instruct staff to draft up a positive resolution that we can potentially take a look-see at in the upcoming weeks.
Probably on the 30th.
Perfect. Do we want to go over and potentially deliberate on anything we heard tonight? We heard some pretty straightforward applications, so I'm inclined to
Get them done?
get them done.
Yep.
So why don't we start off with the first one, 6 Cross Road. As we saw here, this one we originally heard, then we kept open really just administratively to get the EPC approval of, which we did get at their meeting at the beginning of September, last week. Joe Canis reviewed it, signed off on it. Or it was this one, Joe, or is this one Rick?
Nope, Joe signed off.
Joe is this one, yeah.
There
Rick
was an
is-
EPC approval.
Yep, Joe signed
EPC
off.
modified the plans
Yep.
with the extra planting, moving the fence, new drainage in response to neighbor concerns.
Yeah, and the big neighbor concern was the entrance of the driveway and the flooding, which they sort of addressed, so.
Yep.
This
Yep.
one looks pretty good to me. Anybody else have anything they want to say? George?
No, I did not have a problem with it. Pretty simple.
Yep.
Straightforward. Yep.
Okay, so instruct staff to draft it up, positive. Moving along, 17 Searles. This is kind of an odd lot right now that's got that weird driveway with the hedges and it's all blind and it's on a bend and it's kind of in a flood zone and they got a pond in their front yard
Yeah.
area and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
This
whole-
will be a big improvement.
whole mess of it. I know their neighbors across the street are excited for this
Yeah,
this
this will be
improvement
a
as well.
big
So
improvement.
even though they didn't submit a comment to it, I know that
Yep.
they're very happy that they're going to reconfigure that. So I think this one is pretty good. So it's going to make the house look nicer. I don't think they're really changing anything except putting some dormers
Yep.
on. That's nothing major. So anybody have anything else they want to add to it? It's pretty vanilla. George?
Right. No, but I do want to go back to Six Cross for a second.
Sure, go back to Six
Because that's
Cross.
the one that I had been recused on, and I have not seen the video of the original hearing, so
Ah.
I will.
Got it?
You
Not
got it.
aware of any issues, but I will watch it.
Okay, perfect. I think as long as you do that before we
Yeah.
deliberate, I think
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Before we vote.
Okay, so 17 Searles, write it up,
Staff to draft.
stamp to draft, see whenever we can get to that, hopefully sooner rather than later, it's pretty basic. And then taking a look at 32 Plymouth Road, which we just saw Harry here give the thing. It looked like it's, again, another very straightforward application, even though this one is in the flood zone. I'm surprised they didn't opt, when they're doing all that work, to toss in a kitchen. They're putting
An ADU.
they're putting a pool heater in right next door to it. I'm assuming the gas is going to feed that heater. You know, you just run a second line right into the building and you put a kitchen in there, and you don't even need gas. You just put an electric kitchen in there. So I'm surprised at that. But hey, that's
Maybe they didn't want any temptations.
yeah. I mean, they're over the 1 acre. So if they wanted to ADU it in the future, it's just the application and the checklist to you guys, which I envision almost certainly a future. If they sell this place, somebody will ADU that bit,
Sure.
turn into a livable pool house kind of thing instead of like a studio.
Yep.
No, but otherwise they're strapping down the tank. We just have to make sure, pulling out the oil tank. I don't know why I have it in my mind when I bought my house, it was like a health department thing to get the oil tank that was in the ground, because it was like buried and we had to do the same thing. It showed up at like, that they buried it in like the 40s and like, we had to go to the health department, I think, and get some kind of documentation.
It's a fire department permit.
Sure.
It might have been at one, maybe 50 years ago, might not have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, then there has to be soil samples that are done to prove there's no contamination.
Get
And if
it
there
out.
is contamination, then they
Yeah, you gotta
remediate it until they can test
dig it all
their
up.
way out to say there is no
Yeah.
more.
We just haven't seen an oil tank removal. We've seen a lot of septics, we've seen a lot of gas tanks get relocated, but we haven't seen an in-ground outdoor
Yeah.
oil tank in a while.
Well,
I think it happens,
The older
one or
homes.
two a week, somewhere, somehow, somebody's doing something and they,
But really, you still see them, huh?
my view is you want that out of the
Yeah, you
ground.
want that out of the
and if
ground real bad.
This project is causing that to happen,
Absolutely.
that's great.
No, I agree. You definitely want those out of the
Yeah.
ground.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? Any major comments?
Uh,
Keeping it under the building lot coverage,
Right. No, they're taking full use of that lot, and good for them.
elevating it, throwing a pool in, that'll flood.
yep.
Good for them. No real cut and fill on that, so yeah, I'll have staff write up a positive, whatchamacallit, a resolution.
Finding
I'm like,
resolution.
losing my mind here, resolution. And we'll take a look at that somewhere later in the month, I presume.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's everything
that.
we heard about tonight. We pretty much closed it all. No chairman's report from myself. Well, I mean, I guess we had the POCD for most of us. We were talking about it before, but just for anybody on TV, you can watch the old POCD event that we had last Thursday. I think it was successful. We had a good number of people there, 50, 60, some odd people. So it was a pretty full room. It wasn't 4 or 5 stragglers. I thought H&H did a pretty good job with the presentation, kept it on. I think we gathered a lot of data as well, so we didn't just talk about it, we filled out a bunch of stuff that they all gathered. So I think we've got some more data points there, which I think is good.
Is that being added to this survey data that we have? Is it a match for
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Jamie. Literally the next day, Neil from H&H emailed me and said, look, based on that meeting, people come up to him with good suggestions. He's probably going to put some new tab on the website with documents, reports, analyses, and start putting things in there based on the feedback he's gotten. He specifically asked me to find a way that he can start reaching out to maybe people that didn't come to the meeting. He's met with numerous groups of various agencies, so we're going to start doing a little more outreach to kind of get people that may have fallen through the cracks somewhere along the way. He's going to kind of fine-tune the schedule going forward. When you see him on October 14th, which is the next time you're scheduled to meet with him, he hopes to have an outline, table of contents ready, and then we're going to start running with this. So it's
Has he met with like David or Vaccaro? Some of the people who are in charge of the big developments that are going up literally right now, just to see where do you guys see these things in 10 years from now? How do you envision this? Is because David's project is huge for the downtown area, and obviously Vaccaro with Federal together is what do you guys envision in 10 years from now? Do you envision it looking the same, or do you think it'll change? Like those might be useful data points too, just to get an idea, because they're doing definitely long-term projections about tenants and vacancies and who's going in there.
What they're seeing in Darien's future. What they see as, hey, these properties are ripe for redevelopment.
Right.
This is the way development's going. So certainly he talked about talking to landlords and owners of large buildings, complexes, mixed use, trying to reach out to some renters to better understand the dynamics of the rental market. So
those might be useful. I don't know if he's captured that segment of it.
Yeah. So in fact, Fred was copied in on a very lengthy email saying, okay, Neil, now we know where we're going. Let's start running with it. But we did get a lot of great feedback. I know not only during the session, but a lot of people would come up to him before or after with ideas, concepts, and a lot of people said they would email directly, which we would welcome. That would be great.
Perfect.
Anything they forgot or didn't mention, people should just feel free to email.
Yeah, great.
And yet, at this point, we provided no direction.
That's correct. In fact, Neil talked about that a little bit, is, do I need to meet with the commission? I said, well, as you keep meeting with the commission to get their feedback and input, you'll get a sense of where they're going in terms of the dynamics. Certainly, Fred and I have relayed to him, based on these meetings, hey, here's some things they've approved, here's some things they voiced their concerns with. Obviously, traffic is a big concern of the commission. Overdevelopment's been a big concern, trying to find the right balance. What can we make in terms of improvements to zoning? So we've relayed a lot of what you tell us to Neil, but he'll be coming to meetings basically once a month, starting in October, to keep this moving along.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then the only other thing I would note is that we did get a nice tour of the Corbin District last week. Was that Wednesday?
Yes.
Me and Fred and Jeremy went out there with some other people.
So you went for a second time.
I went for a second time, yeah. One of my RTM reps wanted to go take a look at it. If you haven't, I encourage you to reach out to David and get the tour, because it's cool. I mean, you're standing, you can see where the Penny Lane is going to be and where the terrace area is. We went to the top of the roof, or the top of the parking garage, and sort of like look down on it, and you can now that the structures are there and it's not just the hole in the dirt, you can really get an idea of the scale and the scope of it. It's going to be pretty cool. So I'd encourage.
I'm sorry, Bruce Beinfeld's not going to see this completely.
I know, yeah. Yep.
What?
Huh?
Why?
He passed away.
He passed away.
When?
A year ago.
3 weeks. Yeah, not that even that long, about a month ago.
Really? How did I
Yeah.
miss that? That is a shame. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so If you haven't, I encourage you to reach out to David and get the tour. Get a second one, see how it goes. Get one every week. I mean, he mentioned to us, like, just the feat of engineering that was required there, because that pit, like, to dig the underground tunnel, and they had to, like, basically bolt the bottom of the parking garage to bedrock to kind of squeeze the water out of it, and then it won't need any pumps afterwards. Like, that's not some guy digging a foundation for a house and laying some concrete
That's
and
not
moving
Connecticut
on.
basements running.
No, exactly, right? Like, it, like, Pete, you think like, oh, these things, they just go up, but like, there's some serious, it wasn't just some metal structures going up on the ground. There's some real, and Vaccaro had a similar thing, removing the rock in the back of his development. Like, people think these things just are super simple and you're just throwing up some steel structures, and there's some real engineering that's involved in this. So it's pretty cool.
I noticed the new poles. Are we not burying lines?
No, he is. He talked about
All
that
the
on
lines
our
are gonna
tour.
get buried.
He had
They
to,
are still, because I saw these new poles. I was like, is there a pivot on that?
he's had to work not only with Eversource, but also with some property owners across the street on getting easements.
That would
such
be
that the
a
wires-
huge
Yeah,
game changer for that street.
He's burying all the lines on
That
the
will
post road,
be,
yeah.
I'm so glad, because when I saw those new poles, I was like, oh.
And it is a spaghetti mess of wires.
Yeah.
If you look up
Oh, that'll
Corbin
be
Drive to
huge.
the post road, and you're just looking up, most people don't notice it, but you look up at the phone poles and you're like, they've strung wire like 17 times here.
Yeah.
It's a spaghetti
Right.
mess.
And that's
of
what
stuff.
makes Corbin Drive look so nice when you're standing where the Tibbetts
Yep.
building is, and you look north, it's beautiful signage and trees.
Yeah,
The
and-
one thing missing is the wires.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad
the
to
one
hear
thing
that.
people
Glad
will
to hear
notice.
that.
So-
So David's gonna be coming to you, I think it's October 14th, to talk about some minor tweaks, which he discussed informally. He's gonna present them to the full commission, give you an update on what's going on, and that will be October 14th. Neil will be here for the town plan, David will be here to talk about his project.
Wonderful. Great.
Yeah, so that's it for me. I don't know, anything you want to add
And
to
the
the
other thing
director
we'll
report?
probably talk about on October 14th, if not, probably, is the zoning citation ordinance. I've talked to you about it a couple times. The steps are, town council and I are working on it. It's got to go to Board of Selectmen, Planning and Zoning, RTM. And so we're trying to get to the RTM in October, maybe November. And time moves very quickly. So we will bring that to you October 14th. So you can see we're already booking October meetings.
Right.
So we're off next week.
Off 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row.
What we got set up for the end of September, after anything big? We've got the continuation of tonight,
You're going to see on October 30th.
September 30th.
September 30th. October 7th is likely to be John Vaccaro's project called Heights Corner, which is the corner of Heights and Edgerton, both sides of the street. That will likely be October 7th. And September 30th might be, we're not sure yet, Fred's still working on it, the corner of Herman and West. There was a lot there that's been vacant since the beginning of time.
Oh, yeah.
The trees have been cleared, and they're working on a design for 2 building lots. It's gonna need some regrading, and they're gonna come to you for a regrading permit.
We'll have probably 4 or 5 other public hearings that night, including the Heights Corner application is a 2-part application where they're proposing some amendments to the zoning regulations to allow the development.
Our favorite.
And then the site plan and special permit. So we're gonna handle the zoning amendments at the meeting,
30th.
the meeting on the 30th, and then site plan special permit on a different evening, depending on how those zoning amendments go.
Do we want to have another meeting in 2 weeks to ease the load of those meetings? Because
Well, I
the
think
Vaccaro
what-
one sounds like it's going to be a long one.
What
If
we are
have
trying to do-
5 public hearings on that night, it's going to be difficult.
What we're trying to do is Herman and West, Joe Canis needs to review it, and so I think they're still tweaking plans. John's, we haven't even dug into yet. If anyone was ready earlier, we'd move them up or have a meeting,
But no.
sadly.
Yeah.
So it's more likely on the back end, instead of adding a September meeting, it's adding maybe October or November, but we'll see what else comes in the next week or two.
So we're too
Never know.
efficient, is what you're telling me.
So Vaccaro's got what Heights Corner you're calling, But across Edgerton is now fenced in and has all kinds of stuff there. Whose is that?
There's one lot on, I'll call it the east side of Heights, which is the old parking lot with the pothole in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
And that came with the two brick buildings
Oh, it did?
on the west side.
Oh.
So it's, one could argue, 3 lots
I didn't know
that John is, I'll say, putting together, developing as a coordinated development with
Nice.
parking, and building, and drainage, and grading. So,
He's on the north side of West?
which project? John Carl's?
Yeah,
No, it's corner of Heights and Edgerton.
Heights in Edgerton.
It's between
Between.
Leary
Oh,
Liquor
yeah,
and
Leary Liquor
John-
down there.
Yeah.
Wells
Right.
and Palmer's.
Yeah.
So you've driven by it a zillion times.
Yeah.
If
I
not a
didn't
zillion.
realize he
He's
owned
gonna
that
fix
too.
the sidewalks over there, right?
We talked about the importance of sidewalks.
Because I know Steve's not gonna give an approval if there's no sidewalks.
You saw the article.
We
in
saw the
paper.
article in the paper.
It's all about walkability.
It's all about
Removing
walkability.
walls and fences, which now block people from walking to the post office from the
Oh,
east.
very good. Yeah.
So that will be a coordinated thing. And
Okay.
so, yes, we'll see what the workload is, but right now,
Looked like construction at the bank there, down the street on Heights has gotten going too, right?
oh, yeah, the
Bank.
facade
The
changes.
facade
Yeah.
change, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Go
very
for the,
extensive and hopefully.
Auto
it'll be-
shop. Not a bank.
No.
No, the
No.
bank on Heights,
40 Heights.
40.
40
We
that-
heard it, it was.
Oh,
was it
all right.
City of America,
Okay.
Citibank?
Okay. That was
Citibank
Citibank.
at Wood Jones.
Citibank,
That
yeah,
parking
Citibank,
lot is
yeah.
very difficult.
yeah.
Exactly, we've got
Yeah.
complaints that because of the construction equipment, it's tough to get in and out and
It is.
maneuver,
Yeah.
but.
The
they should be
Equinox
able to-
people are all up in arms.
Who?
The Equinox users.
Yeah, it is a little difficult getting in and out, but it's only temporary.
There are parking spaces, it's not.
Yeah, there's plenty of room in there.
But there did seem to be something on the facade of the old auto shop.
Oh,
Yes.
already?
That's what they
Yes.
started.
Oh, really? They've already started that? I haven't driven by that in a
Well,
while.
just something on the facade. I didn't.
Oh, that's nice,
actually
because that place is
get to
gonna look great once it's redone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is an eyesore right
Be a
now,
big,
so it'll be a big
improvement.
improvement in that spot for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, well, that's it. We don't have any, so we heard that. We don't have any other business and we have no minutes to approve. So
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Amy makes a motion, Jamie makes a second. Excuse me, all those in favor? 4-0, 8:22.
Nice.
Well done.
Look at that.
Yeah.